Hi, this is 365801 and we're going to have another buddy read. So this buddy read is Monster and the Beast, so I have to get it out of my yen press drawer. Obviously doing this with Katie again. We've got 3 volumes. This is by Renji. And I've read this before, so this is going to be a reread for me, but Katie hasn't read it yet. So I think I'm going to take a photo to put on Twitter just to say, hey, we're doing this. So yeah, volumes 1, 2 and 3. Volume 3 is the one that I was most excited about because it has a wee parental advisory explicit content warning on it. So yeah, you can read the first 2. There's nothing too graphic. But the third one was the exciting one. I'm looking forward to more being published. Renji's really good on social media and is good at talking with foreign fans as well as domestic. So, and also posts updates and lovely little images as well from the story, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm also thinking that if I read this, I might read something else as well. But I'm going to put this and take some photographs. Maybe do some... Get rid of that one, it's looking a bit dead. But the others are looking quite nice and starting to open up. So yeah, maybe get some nice photos and post on Twitter or Instagram. So I just took some photos, so I'll post that on Twitter. But the other thing I was thinking about reading is Lily Mayne's Soul Eater, which is part of the Monstrous book series. I think there's 5 books out at the moment. And everyone, since it came out last year or the year before, it's been out for a year or so, everyone has said it's a fantastic series, it's really good, it's really interesting, it's great male romance and sort of sci-fi dystopian future type thing, and it involves monstrous beings falling in love with humans. So in a sense it's sort of similar, or at least it has shades of that. So I thought it would always be really good to do like a companion read, because Monster and the Beast, which I know I love, is going to be a reread. That I would also read something else along with it. So I have read one of Lily Mayne's books because I knew I wanted to read this series with this manga as well. So I read the one that doesn't have any follow-up books, and it's given me probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, book hangover this year so far in 2022. Mortal Skin, and it's absolutely fantastic, and I hated it. Things that I love, I really hate. I hate that I love it. It's like this weird thing where you're like, damn, you made your way in through the cracks of my very hard shell and have planted seeds in my soft inner center. And yeah, Lily Mayne's Mortal Skin was basically cottagecore, goblin core for like the longest time, and then right at the end there was lots of action and it made you want to read the next book straight away, and of course there's no next book. So I don't know, we'll see. Everyone goes on about things being fantastic and then I read them and then I don't think they're fantastic, and then by the end of it I'm like, damn it, that was fantastic. So I'm hoping that Soul Eater and some of the other monstrous books will be interesting as well. I don't know if I'll include that in this vlog, but I'm definitely going to be reading Monster and the Beast, volumes 1, 2 and 3 with Katie. I'm just getting back into reading volume 1. It's got a lovely cover image and it's got some nice insert art as well. Nice colours. It's got this little comic at the beginning on the actual card, which is different, and it has the end of the comic at the back, but I won't show you that, so you can when you purchase it you'll see how it's quite funny. So this is the image that I particularly like, that I've got too, and it's Liam and Cavill. They've just been introduced, they're just getting to know each other, and Liam's just saying thanks and giving him a wee pick on the cheek, and it's just a lovely image. It shows the difference in stature, which is obviously massive. Liam is just a normal, or maybe average or slightly taller, slim gentleman of a certain age. So he's kind of an ojisan or osan. And Cavill is this big giant beast of a monster, and huge big long flowing locks and horns and a kind of a snout, but you don't really get to see very much because he has his hair covering his face. But Liam calls him ugly, but doesn't seem to mind at all. You get a real sense of the characters by this point. Liam being very open with his sexuality, and Cavill being very naive. He's gone to rescue him from 3 men who he thinks are attacking Liam, and he discovers that they were kind of maybe going to have consensual sex, which is not what Cavill had originally thought was going on, but that the 3 ones were wrong uns anyway, so they were probably going to cause Liam some sort of harm or injury in the end anyway. So he's showing him the way to the village, and that's just how their story starts. And that's pretty much what happens for the next, like, as far as I remember, like the next 2 volumes is mostly just them walking, which reminds me of, what's that guy's name? There's an Australian guy who does short clipped songs, and he did this Lord of the Rings thing, and they're like, what are they gonna do? They're walking. It's literally just a road trip movie, but like Lord of the Rings style, they're walking everywhere. It's kind of like a medieval type time period, because there's knives and axes and things like that. But the chibis are great. Look at those chibis. And look at that wee chibi Liam. I think that's what I like the most, is the fact that there's comedy and good artwork. I mean, I like a bit of comedy, a bit of artwork that's cute. Chibis, look at those wee chibis, they're so cute. I do think there was a bit of a missed opportunity for a good joke. When he says that he's, are you insane? What did he say? Something about your head. I'll have to find it. I don't know. He's like, is there something wrong with your head? And I felt like it was a bit of a wasted joke. Because that's the whole thing in like Drag Race. How's your head? No complaints. And I kind of feel like that's the kind of joke that Liam would make. He'd totally say that as well. But yeah, I am enjoying it. It's good to read it again. They're just so cute, so sweet. Great artwork and an interesting story so far. 2 people just hanging out in the woods. Love it. Just fun. And a bit of nakedness from Liam straight off the bat. A lot of nakedness from Cavill. But this is the image that I particularly like, because it does show this whole monster thing that people are like, oh no, I don't want to read stuff with monsters and humans fucking. And then they're like, yeah, they go down that rabbit hole and they go down it deep. And this is the kind of image that I'm like, there you go. The physique, the monster physique. Yeah, and Liam just being a total flirt. So yeah, I'll continue reading this and I'll have some of my coffee and muffin. Start the day good. So I'm about to start watching the Grand Prix. Very excited, but for my wee snack while I'm watching it, I've got, can you read that? Mango and raspberry swirl ice cream. I thought it was going to be more like a sorbet, but it is actually more like an ice cream. But it's got proper like mango bits and raspberry bits in it, so hopefully that'll be nice while I'm watching the Grand Prix and having a wee bit of a break. So I just finished volume 1, finally, and it's just nice. I was taking my time and being really slow about it and just appreciating it. And also getting distracted by other things, I won't lie. But it's nice, you're just gradually seeing Cavill slowly increase in feelings for Liam and also want to be with him. I love the chippies. The chippies are just the cutest. So he takes him to the edge of the forest and they spend some time together. This panel I thought was really funny because I'm like, where's his hand going? Where's his hand going? Is it just me? Liam! Nope, stop touching me. Anyway, he takes him to the edge of the forest and then he finds that he can actually take him with him and hide in his shadow. And so they go to the town and Liam's pretending to be someone else. Cheeky Liam. He doesn't give a real name. And so Cavill gets to then explore what it's like to be in this little village or town, and unfortunately also have to experience what it's like for Liam to be like, hey, well, I'm gonna head out and get well, sorry, I had to just pop off. The postman was just here, so I have some things to open. I'm gonna excitingly do that. So where was I? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So they're in the village and he's experiencing a little bit more affection for Liam, but also he's now experiencing jealousy, which is just, man, look at Liam just being a hot old man, this gentleman. I bet Cavill's hair feels lovely. he's got gorgeous locks. But oh my goodness, just all the detail of his physique is just something else. I think that's why. But also the cinnamon rollness of him, oh, he's just the best. He's like, it's sad when I'm like, the monster character? Yeah, he can get it. This is why Monster and the Beast works, because look at that physique. Look at that physique. There was a few different panels that I was just like, yeah, this is it. This is the panel that I really liked. Because for me, I'm like, that shows really good understanding of anatomy, so I appreciate it. And also, if there was a human being who looked like that in front of me, oh boy, fan me down. Too hot. Because that is like a god tier physique. And what's the Japanese word for menkui? So there's another manga by is it Suzuki Tanaka, who does his favourite. It's also a 3-volume series called Menkui, which means someone who likes people who are good looking. And I'm like, isn't that everyone? But I'm like, specifically when it comes to physique, I'm like, oh, that's nice. And even as someone who's asexual is like, but I can appreciate this. It's probably why I also like Wild Rock as well, because the physique of the main character was like, what? Damn. Excuse me, no one's allowed to. Oh, stop. Shield your eyes. Oh, I got all giggly by looking at that and I was like, oh, what's going on? And Cavill gives me those vibes as well, because he's so good looking. In terms of his physique, I don't know what he looks like underneath all that hair, but I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating cookies. And it's just interesting that we get a little bit more about Liam and the mystery of him and who these people are that are after him. That's a very dynamic shot, and so we get to know a little bit more about what's going on, and they have a little moment, which is nice. It's just cute. I do love all the wee chibbiness. It does remind me that when she does chibi of Cavill, it does remind me of Full Metal Alchemist and the chibi versions in there of, which one is it? Edward and, God, it's been ages since I read it. I can't even remember. That's shocking. Call myself a manga fan. But yeah, this was published in 2019. So we've had volume 1, 2, and now 3, and everyone is eagerly awaiting volume 4. But that's the good stuff. So I'm going to go on to volume 2 today and have a wee read of it. Let's see the nice colour image. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Old man Liam. He's such a cheeky flirt. Ah. So yeah, this is going to be exciting because the action is ramped up. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to be good. I can't actually remember all the details, but I just remember being super excited about volume 3 when it finally came out because I loved this one. So I'm going to read a bit of this today. I've got a wee bit of reading I need to do. I've got loads of documents that I need to do for work and business. I've got, you can see, Kewpie mayonnaise, and I also got some deep roasted sesame dressing because I've got a couple of rolls with cheese and ham, some crisp, and I don't know what dressing I want on my rolls. And I also have coffee, but instead of my normal milk, I've got rice milk, and actually it's quite tasty. It's like, doesn't smell any different. It's quite cool. So I'm venturing out into different non-dairy milk substitutes. Yeah, I'm gonna have something to eat and then read a little bit, but also I might open these in a wee bit. I'll show you what I've got. Maybe. So I am just just into this a little bit. I've just done the first chapter, and this is it's made me laugh so much. So they've managed to get away from the bad guys, or at least the pursuers of Liam, and Cavill's learning more about Liam and being more intrigued, but respecting his boundaries and his privacy, which is, you know, so healthy. Cavill was so healthy, except he fell asleep and then started kind of mauling, pawing at, kind of getting a little bit frisky with Liam in his sleep, and then gets woken up to the and this is his first reaction, the embarrassment. So funny. God, I love Cavill. He is literally the best character. He's a cinnamon roll. He's so funny. He's so cute. Anyway, so I'm at this point, so I'm just gonna put this in here. And I was just, as I was reading it, I was looking at this back cover as well, and Liam's just sitting there in his lap brushing his hair, and I just thought, oh, hashtag relationship goals. slightly jealous of that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that sweet? He's just like, yeah, see how nice your hair is, and I just give it a brush, and Cavill's just like, oh, shiny hair. Ooh. Anyway, so I'm at this point, I'll carry on with it, but I do have these parcels that came in the post, so I think we should just give them a wee open, shall we? Let's see. I can't remember what I bought. So we'll see what it is. Oh, you need to. Ooh, what is this? Ooh, I got I've seen a few KJ Charles books on sale and I haven't picked them up, but this one was really cheap. I think it was like £5 something. Green Men book 1, and I have. I'm so happy to finally have a KJ Charles. There are others that I would like to pick up physically, and I think it would be just as easy to get them from Amazon as anywhere else, but this is like an Amazon thing, so yeah. KJ Charles has done a lot. Charm of Magpies, Society of Gentlemen, Sins of the Cities, which I still need to listen to because I have Audible, and these I think are available at the moment on Audible. These were, but they're not anymore, but I listened to them back in September. So I think the Green Men series, the standalone book, so I've read some of these but not all of these, so I'm slowly making my way through all of KJ Charles, and then I'll probably do a reading all KJ Charles book kind of video like I did with Lynn Van Doren, because she's fantastic, a pinnacle of writing skill. Absolutely love. And as I've said before, I feel like I'm learning more, like I feel more like I'm educated by reading this. It's male romance, but I feel like this is like top tier good quality writing. So yeah, I really enjoyed The Charm of Magpies. That was a recommendation by Jen. And the Society of Gentlemen series I really enjoyed. So I do need to give The Sins of the Cities a wee listen, and then also see if I can gradually pick them up. The book feels lovely. It's like a nice matte, kind of almost velvety feel to it. So I'm very happy to get this. And now I think we've got, put this to the side, this other one. This feels a lot lighter, but I can't remember what it is that I purchased. What did I buy? Oh, is it that? What's this? There's two of them, so let's pull out the first one. Ah, there we are. Hitorejime Boyfriend. This is the first one that was published before Hitorejime My Hero, and then Hitorejime My Hero just kind of carried on. This was being published, I think, when I was in Japan. And people were like, oh, that's great, it's fantastic. So I need to find the information at the back. I always like these. 2010, yeah, 2010 this one came out, and then 2021. So actually, it's like 11 years of a difference. It's massive. It's kind of incredible, really, when you think about it, that something that was published in 2010, it's now 2022. So it's taken ages for it to actually come out. So when people talk about it, oh, a new manga, it's not really, is it? It's been around for a while. So yeah, I do remember this and being available. I probably picked it up and was like, oh, this looks nice. And did I buy it in Japanese? I don't think I did. But I remember it being really popular. So that's one of the ones that I picked up. And now, if we take this out the way, see what else. I think I remember what this was. Yes, it's this one. Descending Stories, Volume 1. Descending Stories, unfortunately, is starting to get a bit more difficult to get all of the volumes, and I thought I would be able to pick them up, like no problem. It wouldn't be an issue. But it seems as though it's starting to be an issue. I don't know if they're actually publishing any more of them. And I wanted to get the full set, but you know when you put it off and you're like, oh, don't worry about it, and then like a global pandemic and global whatever manga shortage comes out, and then it's like, you'd be lucky to get it. You'd be lucky to get it. But it did say English translation 2017. So it's actually been a while. But I really, oh man, I was obsessed with the anime, and it just made me think how like genius Haruko Kumota is. And the anime, they did such an amazing job that the final episode of season 1, or the first part, just left me like, what? And then the last, literally the last few seconds of season 2, and it was like, what? So I knew I needed to pick this up. So Descending Stories is another one that, it's just so good. It's just so good. And it's kind of interesting because Rakugo, I went to the Edo Tokyo Museum in Tokyo, and it's got this fantastic interior, and there's another anime, what was it called? Something to do with the gods anyway. And I wanted to go there to see it because it's really interesting, because I like museums, and Japan does a lot of museums and attractions really well. Anyway, inside they've got a sort of like rakugo stage. It's like a proper full-size rakugo stage, and they had a man performing rakugo on the stage in front of an audience of maybe 6 people. Like dying art for sure. But we sat and listened to him for a bit, even though we couldn't understand anything he was saying. It was still entertaining to just watch him perform. And then when we went back to the hotel, because I was on holiday with my friends at the time, and we went back to the hotel and we put on the TV in the hotel room just to like check the news and weather and stuff. And they have on Japanese TV a lot of the time like Japanese cultural things, and they had the same man on the like cultural channel with like a rakugo performance, and we were like, look, that's the same dude we literally just saw it live, and he's like the #1 rakugo storyteller in Japan. And we were like, shit, he was like supposed to be really good, and we were like, well, I don't know what he's saying, but he looks like he's entertaining. So it did make me think about rakugo. My friend does performance, and she's done rakugo as well. So I do enjoy Japanese cultural arts, and this story is just the bomb. I love it. Such a good. If you can't get hold of any of the copies, which I might end up not being able to, I do recommend the anime. It's really, really good. So yeah, that's my wee set of 3. Not bad at all. This is a good buy. I think I got all of them for like £5 or £6 each, so very happy with my wee bargains. Because I do need to collect more of Hichirejime, my hero, and well, more of the Descending Stories, and more KJ Charles, obviously. So these are continuing series that I need to collect. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit more of this later. I'm going to get on with some work first, and I'll check in when I've read some more. They're just great. I love these guys. So I'm taking another wee break. I'm reading a little bit more of volume 2, and I got to chapter 11. Look at this. He's so cute. The chibis get me. Liam, he's just so, I don't know, like suspicious. Don't be suspicious. But yeah, I do like their interactions with each other. Their wee swimming session was cute. Anyway, I stopped, and then I was scrolling through social media, as you do, because obviously, and I came across this. It was really random, actually. I came across this post on Instagram, and it was a poem from an old poet from I don't know when, because I don't really know much about him. And it was called "In the Desert" by Stephen Crane. So I wrote it out, actually. But I might go back and find it and put a post here, so it might be in front of you. And it was, "In the desert, I saw a creature, naked, bestial, who, squatting upon the ground, held his heart in his hands and ate of it. I said, 'Is it good, friend?' 'It is bitter.' 'Bitter,' he answered, 'but I like it, because it is bitter, and because it is my heart.'" And I was like, fuck me. That's fucking deep. It just got me, because it was the whole monster, like, creature thing. So obviously I'm thinking of Cavill, you know, sitting there with his heart in his hands, like wanting to be in love. It made me think of this, which is like, wow, how's that, you know, worlds collide. But also it's Liam, because he is as well seems to be kind of like, there's definitely, he's described as a beast. You know, is he happy? Is he content with his life? Like, he seems like he would eat his heart and call it bitter, and Cavill would be wanting to give it to someone else. Anyway, just because it was like a monster, a creature, it made me think. But also I know like it's not. It's like a metaphor for life. It's about I don't know what it's about, but for me I read into it like how people do things to themselves and maybe self-sabotage. I don't know. But it was really interesting, and I think it's something from like the 1900s, like a really old poem. So it just made me think of that. Like I literally just saw it on social media and I was like, I'm going to write that down. It's lovely. But it did make me think of, obviously, the beast that is Cavill being... Maybe, I hope he's not heartbroken by the end of it, you know? That's kind of how I see this going. Like, eventually, will this be a happily ever after? And if it wasn't a happily ever after, it would be Cavill, you know, eating his heart and saying it's bitter. I just don't want him to be left on his own. Which is ironic because I remembered how this volume ends now, so I'm like, oh. So I don't want him to be heartbroken by the end, because I do think it's bitter, but I like it. Like, oh, like the pain we give each other and the pain we give ourselves and how we revel in our own destruction and pain. Oof. I just thought it was a really good poem. So yeah, I'm going to continue with this, but I'm going to carry on with some work first because I've got like one chapter left. One chapter left, I think. So it's a bit later in the day and I've finished volume 2. It's quite an easy read when you get into it. It's like really quick, especially when you get into little arcs of stories. So the wee boy's story when they went to the village meant that there was a lot more of Liam's power being shown, which is quite interesting. There's something I've noticed though, and I really love it. I love noticing things like, especially like uses of font. That's something I really appreciate in this work. The change of font to emphasize emotion or what's going on in the plot. But there's other things as well, and like whenever Cavill does or says something that's particularly sweet and cute or lovely, the tone that's used in the background is like the orbs of light, and then Liam gets all flirty or sweet. And it's almost like the little orbs are Liam's love growing. I don't know, that's how I'm kind of reading into it. That's what it makes me think of, that that's him falling in love. Little orbs that are just like, oh. Like, yeah, this guy's so great, I love him, and then he just gets all flirty. This is him being really flirty in the water. What was there? There was a bit that I really liked. There was a particular panel. This one here. This one made me think that Cavill is like the cross between an Afghan hound and a bodybuilder. Because he's got all that hair, and he's got the snout, and he's got like these horns that look like ears, and all that glorious hair just floating about majestically in the wind, and yet he's got this ripped body. So that's kind of how I view Cavill. Cavill as a cross between an Afghan hound and a bodybuilder. It's really sweet and lovely. This just a nice moment when he's like, oh, are you gonna go out? And he's like, no, I'll stay with you. And it's so cute. They're so cute. And then the chibi comedy is just great. Chibi comedy is brilliant. So yeah, this was the end of volume 2. This is the drawing that I did for, I'll put a wee link up. I did Chibi-tober. I might do Chibi-tober again. I really enjoyed it. So that was not last year, but the year before, 2020. So I chose a few chibis to draw, and then I was going to do it every day, but I think I did it every second day. I just did my own drawing of that chibi drawing. So if you've got any chibis that you recommend, this is one that I did, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing it. Because it's just so cute. It's just so cute. And so, yeah, give me some recommendations for some chibis to draw for this October, and I'll do another Chibi-tober. I'm going to put that on Patreon, because there's literally nothing on Patreon. Nothing on my Patreon. But yeah, so that was it. So these 2 volumes are the ones that I purchased. They both came out in 2019. So this one I got in the December of 2019 when it came out. And I picked up volume 1 at the same time. So I read them both. I absolutely loved them. And I had to wait for volume 3. And it kind of left it on a cliffhanger. So this end of volume 2, there's kind of a point where we're like, oh no, what's going to happen now? So yeah, it was a bit of a wait until we got volume 3. Volume 3 came with the sticker, which was like, it was perfect. I'm like, yes. So I will start on volume 3, but I might not get it finished today because I do have some other things to do. And it is a little bit of a chunky boy. A bit chunkier. This one came out in October 2020. So it's been... what? A year and a half? Coming up to 2 years. So a year and a half it's been. A year and a half since this volume. And I think we're all ready for volume 4. Like, more than ready. Give me volume 4. ASAP. Smexy Liam. It's the hair that does it. It's the hair. It gets me. It gets me. But yeah. It's going to be a good read, I think. So I'm going to enjoy volume 3. And I'll let you know what I think. So I was so busy, I didn't realise I kind of was like, oh, I don't have anything in the house to eat for dinner. And I should have gone to the shops, but I was a little bit late because I was getting distracted by things. Anyway, I scoured what I had in the house, and lo and behold, it was exactly what I could use to make fried rice. And I've just made a wee egg on top, and that's my Kewpie meal. I mean, I know some people are like, ew, mayo on fried rice, why? But that's kind of like a Japanese thing. And then the first time I had it, I was like, what? No. And then I did, and it was like, yes, this is brilliant. So I almost always put mayo on my fried rice now, and noodles too. I love it. It's great, especially if it's spicy and you just put a little bit of mayo on it. It's just like, it just cools everything down a bit. Anyway, so yeah. I have this to eat, and I will give this a proper start because I haven't really, I've just like had a wee quick look at the first couple pages, but yeah, I'm gonna eat this and then go on to the final fancy Monster of the Beast. I mean, man, we waited for volume 3, and then this wee sticker, we were excited, but then it was a cliffhanger. Volume 2 was a cliffhanger, so yeah. Food first. Hopefully it's delicious. I assume it will be. I made it. Good morning. It is the next day and I'm having a wee cup of coffee. I actually started this last night, and it was just a bit after midnight I got to this kind of point, and I thought, oh, I'll stop and then today I will pick it up and read the rest of it. But I actually wasn't feeling great, and I woke up like 5 in the morning. And I could not get back to sleep. I was wide awake, so I ended up reading the rest of it all the way to the end. So I have finished volume 3 now. So I kind of think this vlog's going to be a bit boring. Sorry about that. So not really much has happened. I've been really busy getting work stuff done and just intermittently reading this. So we left volume 2 with a bit of a cliffhanger of like, oh, what's going to happen? And they kind of sorted that out. Cavo, he did good. It was like, you know, like those Japanese shows with the wee kid that goes on their first errand. Cavo's first errand was a little bit more like life and death. What am I going to do? How am I going to get there? So they sorted that out, which was nice. And Liam enjoyed his journey, let's say. And then it's like pondering and waiting. I love the chibis. The chibis are great. You dummy, Liam. And just waited for him and was patient, even though he was worried he wouldn't. And they got to be together in the end. And I think even Liam is becoming more and more surprised at how attached he is, which is nice. And then there's all the Smexy stuff, which we won't go through, but Monster Smex is Monster Smex. I know some people are just like not keen on it. And, you know, when you say it, it's like, no. But then when you're reading it and you're in love with the characters, you're like, yes, yes. So that was fun. But it does make me think, like, reading the rest of it, because it'd been a while since I'd read the rest of it. You get a lot more of Liam's backstory and what's going on, and there's still the mystery of I still feel sorry for him. I still feel sorry for Liam. I still think that there's going to be something that you're going to find out. And so for his, like, part of me wants to think that he's just a fancy, highly sexed, sexual, bisexual older gentleman. Like, part of me was like, that's fine, you can have that as a character. But I do think that the way that he goes about seducing people and engaging in sex is probably more of a necessity when you read the rest of this third volume. When you hear about the witness's statement from the incident that happened in the past, which is why Liam is being chased, you kind of go, oh, right, okay, so how come he is the way he is? Maybe, like a, you know, an essence is required. It's the joke of in The World's Greatest First Love. Like, how come with Yukina Ko and, oh, what's his name? The one who's always going about Ri-chan. So yeah, one of the other characters, he's always like babyface, even though he's in his 30s now. And one of the jokes was because he imbibes essence of man. That's how he stays so youthful. And yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's they do say orgasms are good for you. So there you go. There's health benefits. So yeah, the second half of it is a lot more backstory and starting to get the mystery of who he is and why he is the way he is kind of rolling, and and just little extras as well. The bonus tickling chapter was just really cute. It did end on this page that says Monster and the Beast Volume 4 coming 2021. So I was expecting a delivery of Love and Affection. Where the fuck is it? Is kind of my where is our volume 4? Where is our volume 4? Hopefully 7 Seas. Is it 7? No, it's the Yen Press, isn't it? It's the Yen Press. Hopefully Yen Press have seen the people saying, oh yay, can't wait for volume 4. So that they're ready for the volume 4 to come out as soon as we can get it. It would be nice. But yeah, I did have a wee chat with Katie, but a very brief chat with Katie because it was very late for me and I ended up falling asleep, so I missed her messages. But I think she's now finished volume 2. Volume 1 Liam is very different from volume 3 Liam. I think there's a kind of a progression in who he is, but you obviously instantly have affection for Cavill. Me, I'm like, who is this distinguished gentleman? Because I like old men, and I like old men because they're complicated. I like sexual old men. Like, not for me. That was one of the running jokes as well when I was at when I lived in Japan. They were my work colleagues would be like, oh, you're single, let's try and set you up so that you get married and stay here. And then you can be here forever, and we'll have you forever. And I'm like, no. But anyway, they were trying to set me up, and all of the people that they were like, oh, this person's single, oh, this person's single. And I just burst out, why are they all old men? Naze ossan? Zenbu ossan? Naze? And it was like, yeah, I don't know why, but they were but one of the guys wasn't actually an old man. He was the same age as me, but he just looks like an old man. He always looked like, literally, from apparently I saw photos, he looked exactly the same. So I mean, he's not going to age, which is great. So when he's like 50, he's still going to look like maybe 45. But when he was 25, he looked 45. So yeah, I like distinguished old men. I like Natsume Ono. I like Natsume Ono's work. I like Haruka Kumota. I like old men who have, you know, sexual desires, but are kind of distinguished about it. And that's why I like Liam. And also because he is bisexual, and you don't get many representations of highly sexual, bisexual, who are just who they are, but also are a character and have motivations. So yeah, I like Liam, but I also like Cabo because he's cinnamon roll. And he got it on. I'm like, you go get it. You get it, Cabo. His love for Liam is just kind of like a duck that's imprinted. But yeah. So that's me finished, actually. I was gonna do some other things this morning and like get my printer set up in my room, and I've got a lot of business things I need to get done, and I'm gonna have to put a pin in all of my reading and just like get things done because I've been highly distracted by Monster and the Beast and lots of other things too. What else was I reading? The Fake Boyfriend series, Eden Finley. Damn you. So I was talking about reading the Monster series by Lily Mayne, and that's still something that I want to do. If you've read the Monster series by Lily Mayne, let me know. Is it good? Don't tell me anything. I've watched a few reviews, but don't spoil things. But I kind of know the gist. But if you've read it, I'd like to know what you think. And if you read Monster and the Beast, let me know what you think of this as well. Sorry guys, this has been a kind of a boring vlog. Anyway, I hope you give Monster and the Beast a go. If you haven't, if this has convinced you, it's a lovely story. Although I haven't really told you too much about the plot, other than, like I said, they just walk places together and slowly develop feelings. And there's a sort of mystery. It's kind of a sort of medieval-esque time period setting in a vaguely European-esque landscape, I'm guessing. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a nice one. I hope you give it a go. Renji is great and posts updates on her Twitter, so if you want to, you can go check out extra drawings and some of the chapters as well as they come out. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'm 3658801. I make videos about BL, manga, yaoi, and male robots. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell for when the next video is up. Don't know when that's going to be. Yeah, share, do all the good stuff, and comment down below. It's always nice to get a comment. Yeah, when did you read Monster and the Beast? I was a little behind the times. I got it as soon as Volume 2 was out. I purchased both of these together. I think that was a good way to do it. Because as soon as it's finished, I was desperate to read this one. Okay, so I guess just end with Yen Press. Where's Volume 4, huh? Anyway, take care, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!